Trucking Divas and those inspired to be Trucking Divas. What up to all my road warriors out there? Today we're going to talk a little bit about what everybody across the country is talking about, and that is the George Zimmerman trial, the incident that occurred with young Trayvon Martin, who is no longer on this earth. I am not siding on either side, but I will say that I am a mother who lost a child, so I know what the pain of that is like. I know what it's like to lose a 17-year-old child. It's very painful. So I understand what the parents are going through. I don't understand what happened in this trial. A 17-year-old was killed and nobody is being sentenced for it. And I know when I went through my trial with the guy that killed my daughter, he was a DUI driver and a repeat DUI offender. He had been without a license for as long as my daughter was alive, which is 17 years. And just knowing that fact alone, for me, it was very hard. Going to trial and looking at this man every single day was very difficult. Yes, he was a Caucasian man, but I have to say this, it wouldn't have mattered if he was Caucasian, black, Asian, Mexican. It wouldn't have mattered what race he was. My child is gone. So I sympathize with the pain of this family, but in not necessarily defense of Mr. Zimmerman, his life will never be the same. There's two families that have been impacted by this situation. I'm just going to share with you really quick something that I heard on the radio this morning, as well as a little bit of conversation that went on between myself and a driver as I was pulling into a fuel island. Take a look at this.
Talk about what they think about the guy that they just found out guilty.
I say pray on it. Don't trip on it too hard, driver.
Yeah, it's kind of one of them wishy-washy things, you gotta see.
Yeah, it is. Two families are messed up right now. That's how I see that. I think it's kind of jacked up that a kid was killed, but at the same time, one man will never live his life the way that he used to.
George Zimmerman being acquitted of murdering Trayvon Martin.
We are going to force this Justice Department, who we have everything then, to do their job.
On Monday, Reverend Anthony Evans, who heads up the National Black Church Initiative, initiative urged the federal government to charge Zimmerman with civil rights violations. He says if that doesn't work, he'll call for a complete boycott of all the products and services for the state of Florida.
Boycott Florida! A total boycott for the next 5 years. Not even traveling there.
1.5 miles. Keep left onto I-5 North.
Florida, no business, no Disney World. We're going to shut it down.
Well, the group claims to have about 34,000 churches on its membership rolls. There is no time frame nor time limit for the Justice Department to decide on the George Zimmerman case.
Jurors wanted to convict Zimmerman of manslaughter, and a third wanted to find him guilty of second-degree murder.
This juror, known only as B37, spoke exclusively with CNN's Anderson Cooper last night. She said she had no doubt that George Zimmerman feared for his life in the final moments of his struggle with Trayvon Martin, and that was the definitive factor in their verdict.
I think George Zimmerman is a man whose heart was in the right place, but just got displaced by the vandalism in the neighborhoods and wanting to catch these people so badly that he went above and beyond what he really should have done. But I think his heart was in the right place. It just went terribly wrong.
Do you think he's guilty of something?
I think he's guilty of not using good judgment. When he was in the car and he called 911, he shouldn't have gotten out of that car. But the 911 operator also, when he was talking to him, kind of egged him on. I don't know if it's their policy to tell them what to do, not to get out of the car, to stay in their car. But I think he should have said, stay in your car, not can you see where he's gone.
Then she described to Cooper what it was like as the jury reached its verdict after 16 hours of deliberation.
It was emotional to a point, but after we had put our vote in and the bailiff had taken our vote, that's when everybody started crying.
Tell me about that.
It's just hard thinking that somebody lost their life. And there's nothing else could be done about it. I mean, it's what happened. It's sad. It's a tragedy that's happened, but it happened. I think both were responsible for the situation they had gotten themselves into. I think both of them could have walked away. It just didn't happen.
It's still emotional for you.
It is. It's very emotional.
Can you explain the emotion?
It's just sad that we all had to come together and figure out what is going to happen to this man's life afterwards. You find him not guilty, but you're responsible for that not guilty, and all the people that want him guilty aren't going to have any closure.
Do you feel sorry for Trayvon Martin?
I feel sorry for both of them. I feel sorry for Trayvon and the situation he was in, and I feel sorry for George because of the situation he got himself in.
The woman, known only now as Juror B37, you can see her entire interview with Anderson Cooper on KFBK.com on the Amy's View page.
I don't know if you heard that on the CB, but one trucker got on the radio talking about the not guilty verdict for Mr. Zimmerman in the shooting death of Trayvon Martin. And my opinion is two families are messed up. His family will never have their son back, and Mr. Zimmerman will never have his life back. So it's a tough call on both ends, and my advice to that driver was not to worry about it too hard, just pray about it. If you go to facebook.com, my page is dsova. Scroll on down, I have the footage for it. And I also have a hashtag, if this was my child. And you can add your comments on there. I want to hear what you truckers are thinking. Divas, Road Warriors, talk to me. You'll see the clip from the reaction, the news report of what took place when he was acquitted. Zimmerman was acquitted, and I basically said a prayer, and I would love it if all of you would just join me in prayer, because the bottom line is this: whether we like it or not, none of us were there. For those who want to turn it into a race issue, it's not a race issue. We turned that into a race issue. The media showing you everything and knowing the fact that he was not African American, it became a race issue. The fact that he got away with no punishment at all, that really messes with me. Because at least the guy that killed my daughter did get a sentence of 13 years and 4 months. However, he only served 5.5 years and he was out of prison. So I understand. I know one thing: even though Mr. Zimmerman is free, he'll never really be free. The only two people who know what happened that day are Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman. So I just want you guys to think about that and just kind of post your opinions down in the comments section.